maybe because I don't think we went outside one of those days. I tried to do a handstand, and my mom told me to try and get one leg up and then put another leg up. Really good at holding it for a second.
Yeah, that takes a lot of practice. Annabeth, my daughter, would do that all the time. And sometimes she would go on a hill where it would give her a little bit more force, like she could kick, and then with the hill being at a slant, she could go back a little bit easier. Good. I'm glad you were able to get out. Did everybody get a chance to get out and play yesterday? It was a beautiful day. Riley, I know your hand was up, sweetie. Riley, your picture's a little frozen. Kaden, how are you doing? Kaden, you doing okay? Good. Megan?
I was just asking
I was playing with my friend yesterday, and they showed.
Okay. Riley? Hey, Annalisa. Riley, are you still there, sweetie?
Oh.
Okay.
Miss Kramer?
I can see you, Annalisa. Did you finally get moved in?
Mm-hmm.
Good. How's everything going there?
Wild.
Still, have you got all your boxes unpacked, or are you still kind of working on getting your stuff unpacked?
Getting my stuff unpacked. I have anything more.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a process. I know. Chloe?
Yesterday outside, I went into my backyard with my brother and my dad, and we started cleaning the backyard, and we started a fire pit, and then I tried new things on our play set, like standing on a swing on one foot.
Okay. All right. I got a little question here from Riley. She wanted to check if we could scan the assessments instead of Google Doc. Yes. Yes. I believe you can. Yeah. Yes. Boys and girls, the assessment that came out today is typically what you would have done on the computer. Okay, I'm gonna mute you all for a minute. Okay, can you still hear me all? All right, I've muted you for a minute, okay, because I want to be able to talk to you. There's been some questions about the assessment. So the Unit 7 assessment that came out today is what you typically would have taken at school on the computer. But since we are not clearly able to do that, I printed out onto a Google Doc the different sections for you. So what I'm going to have you do, if whatever's easier for you, I also included an answer sheet that has spaces for you. They're mostly multiple choice. So you can go in, and if you want to print that out, you can. If your parents can scan it and send it to me, that's fine. If you want to just grab a separate sheet of paper, number it 1 to whatever, and send it to me, that's totally fine. I want you to do whatever's easier for you. This is not something that you need to have done all today. I know it's a little lengthy. Feel free to kind of take your time with it. I didn't push out any other lessons today because I think that you need some time to catch up. And it might be a little overwhelming right now with all of this stuff, and maybe there's lessons that you haven't even gotten to yet. So I want to give you the opportunity to be able to have some time. If you have finished up all of this week's work and you're up where you need to be, great. You can go in and do some reading on Epic. I know that there's a lot of different books and different activities you could do on Epic. You can go into any kind of you can go into Brain Pop, you can go into ABCYA, but I'm going to let it kind of be up to you. But use the day to get caught up with anything that you might not have gotten done. We have one more full week next week of school. I am still going to be putting some assignments out. They will come from Unit 8, but we're not going to get through all of Unit 8. But what I decided I'm going to do is pick out some of the important things that we have done that I think you will still need to practice on comprehension. I will give you some more spelling words. I think that it's important for you to continue with learning and remembering those sounds to the words, but it's definitely not going to be, it's going to be picking and choosing what I think you will benefit from. The week after, which would put us at the week of the 18th, is our last week of school. It only goes until the 21st. What I'm going to do is allow that time for makeups. So any work that you have not done, you will have a break. I am not going to be scheduling any new assignments that week of the 18th. That is the last week. We will be doing some Zoom, kind of some fun little end of the year things, but it will be your catch-up time. All right, so just next week, one more week to go, boys and girls. I hope that that helps. I hope that that gives you a little better idea. Okay, now, is there anyone that has a question? If you want to raise your hand, unmute yourself, but everybody else stay muted right now so that we can hear everyone. How about Riley? I know you had your hand up earlier, and I'm going to go ahead and unmute you. And if you would like to share out something, go ahead.
I was just asking about like the test because I'm still working on the like second one. Yeah.
Okay.
You already answered my question.
Yeah, Riley, can you have your mom, the audio, I can't really, your voice is a little distorted. I'm getting some of what you're saying. You're working on the second part of the unit. Hi, Kathy. Can you hear me okay? Okay. I'm having a really hard time hearing any sound. Riley, it's very I can't hear it. I'm gonna tell you what, Riley, I'm gonna wait until and then I will come back to you. Annalisa? Unmute.
How are we gonna get the stuff from inside our cubbies, like all of it, like our school supplies?
Yes, there is going to be a pickup schedule. We had a staff meeting yesterday about that. And what's going to happen is that your stuff will be bagged up and there will be a drive-up time for you to come and get your things. I have not been over to the school yet. I am supposed to be able to get into the building this week sometime. Mrs. Randall is still, we're working on that schedule. It'll be a drive up and then there'll be people running to get your bags that are labeled. So anything in there, your workbooks, papers, it will all be put, and whatever's in your cubby will all be put into a bag with your name on it.
Do we get to keep our computers?
For now, they're gonna let you keep the computers. They have not said anything about giving those back right now. I think that they're still kind of deciding what's gonna happen next year with school, if we're gonna start off in the classroom or if we're gonna continue with the virtual remote learning. I really don't know. So hold on to the Chromebooks, take care of them, make sure they stay clean, and just, yeah, I'm going to send your headphones home. Those will all come home with, you know, your stuff if they're still there. Okay. Hopefully that answers your question. All right. Megan. What? Megan, can you hear me? You can talk. You had your hand up. Can't hear you, Megan. Sweetie, I don't know if it's your headphones, but I can't hear you. You got to either speak louder, maybe turn your mic up, sweetie. It's so hard to hear. I'm sorry. I'll try to come back to you, Megan. Kaden, go ahead and unmute yourself. And then Riley. Kaden, go ahead.
Are we getting our yearbooks?
You know what? That's a good question. I have not gotten any information about that yet. I'm hoping to be able to, I'm gonna hopefully be able to send that. I'm gonna get an email out. I don't really know about how that's gonna work right now. If you paid for one, you certainly will be entitled to one. I just don't know what, I just cannot answer that at the moment.
Okay.
So I will let you know, buddy. Just wait for an email. Your parents will be getting an email from me, and I'll give you every information that I can when I get it, sweetie. So crazy right now. Chloe, unmute yourself.
Do
Okay.
we, about the work, do we just, if we have like any missing, do we just have to do that for like a week?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm going to give you, yes. What I'm going to do is, like I said, you're going to get some assignments, but the week after next, you're going to have all those days to do any missing things. Try to move forward and keep up with the current ones, and then I will give you time to go back and do the ones you didn't do, okay? So you're doing real good. I've seen a lot of work coming in from you all, so keep up that good work and just do what you can and send it to me, okay? Does that help? All right.
Yes.
Emmy, did you have something to say? And then Annalisa? No? Annalisa, unmute yourself.
What about, I can't get into Epic. I have my name, but it says I have to pay money.
Okay, you should not have to pay any money. I had sent an email with a link. And if you click on, when you go into Epic, there is a box that allows you, you can click Classroom or you can click Home. You click Classroom. I believe if you click the classroom box, it's going to be able to take you to those books, but you should not have to pay any money, okay? And I'm thinking that if you're clicking the home, even though you are at home, the account was set up with the school email. So that's why try clicking on school. If you have any more problems with that, send me an email or a message and I will look into it, okay? No one should be paying any money for anything,
Okay.
all right? It should all be free, okay? Hopefully that helps. Riley, do you want to try to say anything? Go ahead and unmute yourself. No? Try. Okay, that's okay. Well, what I'm going to do is, how many of you got a chance to watch the video of Miss Alice reading the story about push in the pool, the forces in motion? Yeah. Yeah, we have been talking a lot about that, how we can push and we can pull. That is what makes things move. But did you know that there is something else that makes things fall? Did you ever think about something falling from the sky, Riley?
I was gonna say that me and my brother watched the video of Miss Alice together
Yes.
because he likes when I get to go to the library and I get to tell him stuff about what I just learned. So he watched the video with me.
Yeah, that is good that he watched it with you. I'm sure he enjoyed seeing the different ways that they were able to use those materials. But there is another force besides pushing and pulling. Emmy, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Gravity.
Yes, gravity. Gravity is the force that comes down on top of us. It's what keeps us staying on the ground. If you hold something up, an object, and you drop it, gravity is what makes it fall. And I have a story that I'm going to read to you about that. Marcus, before I read the story, though, I think you had your hand up. Would you like to share something before I read the story? No? Okay. All right, Emmy, go ahead.
When you wanted at our last Zoom meeting, I couldn't really figure out how to make you get bigger to see the story. So if you just if you make your laptop or a phone like go to the side on the long part, it will make it bigger.
It will? Okay. Well, I am going to give that a try. So I'm going to go into my speaker view and I am going to click on, let's see, I've got a couple choices here. All right, Emmy, is this bigger? Can you see it?
Like if you actually turn the computer or the phone like on the long side, then if you actually do that, it will make everyone like longer and bigger.
Okay. All right, here, sweetie. Let me see here.
And like
everyone else will
it may not like work for it may not work because
you show up as the
I did it, and so it may not work if you did it.
Okay, well, you know what? If I do it this way, can everyone make their screens larger to see it? If you can do that, will that make it a little bit easier? I will do the best I can to kind of hold it up and try to just, yeah, it's a little awkward for me. I really wish you all were in front of me on the floor. It makes it so much easier to try to read a story. So anyway, this story is called I Fall Down. It's written by Vicki Cobb, illustrated by Julia Gordon. What are some things that fall down? What do you think? What are some things that fall down? Yep. They do? Would this,
Books.
Chloe?
Books.
Books can fall down. What else? Can fruit fall down from a tree?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Marcus?
No.
Okay, yes. Bree?
Plants can fall down.
What falls down?
Plants.
Yes, they can. They can. Gravity can work down and beat down on plants and make them fall too. So, yes. And if it weren't for gravity, what would happen? If we didn't have gravity, what would be happening to everything? Chloe or Emmy?
We would be floating up.
Yeah, we would be like outer space. We'd be floating all over the place. Okay? All right, so
To everyone.
yeah, let's go ahead and
And we wouldn't be able to breathe because we don't have air.
awesome. All right, so what I want everyone to do, okay, well, everybody mute themselves, okay, because I want everyone to hear the story, and then we'll talk a little bit about it. And again, if you can adjust your screen so that you're able to see the book, if you could do it on your end, great. But I'm going to do the best I can, okay? All right, so I fall down. Know what happens when you trip? You fall down. We all know what that's like, don't we? Know what happens when you spill your milk? It drips down. Throw a ball up into the air. Watch what happens. It goes up for a short time, then falls down. Try tossing other things up in the air. Your mom's keys, a block, and when something falls, which way does it fall? How does it fall, boys and girls? Down. Does it ever fall up?
Down.
Does anything ever fall up?
No.
No, it doesn't. Know what makes things fall? It's a force called gravity. As long as you are on Earth, you can't get away from it. Gravity is always pulling things. Know which way? Down, down, down. You can see how gravity pulls. Take a spoonful of molasses, which is another word for syrup, or honey, and point the spoon down so that the goo dribbles back into the jar. Watch it drip. The goo stretches and gets longer and longer. It looks like a ribbon streaming into the jar. Gravity pulls the molasses from the spoon back into the jar. Do some things fall faster than others? Try it and see. Hold a penny and a key in one hand. Open your hands so they both start falling at the same time. Listen and watch as they hit the floor. Did either the penny or the key win the race, or was it a tie? So these are some little things you could do at home with just objects around the house, just to see. Pretty cool. You can have lots of dropping races. Things fall so fast, it's hard to tell if there is a winner or a loser. But no matter whether the objects are big or small, it seems that it's always a tie. The only time you have a clear loser is when you drop something that the wind could easily blow away, such as a feather or a tissue. You see air fighting gravity only with very light objects. If there were no air, you would find that gravity pulls everything at the same speed. Astronauts proved this on the moon, where there is no air. Every dropping race was a tie. Amazing but true. Does everything land with the same force? Or do some things hit harder than others? Here's a way to find out. Have someone drop a dry sponge into your hand from about a foot above it. Next, try a small bar of soap. Which hits your hand harder, the sponge or the soap?
I think it would be the soap.
Try dropping lots of things into your hand. Soon, you will discover that some things hit harder than others. And here's an example. A bar of soap and a sponge, hold them at the same level, and the picture will show which is heavier, the sponge or the soap. Move your hands up and down to help feel the difference. So you could do that too. Riley?
I think that the bar of soap would be heavier.
I think you're right. What would happen though, Riley? Let me ask you this. I think a sponge would be lighter than a bar of soap. What would happen, you think, if you filled that sponge with water and didn't like squeeze it out and all that sponge soaked up water? Do you think that that might make a difference on how heavy it is?
Yeah, I think if there was water in the sponge, that it would the sponge would actually be a tiny bit heavier.
You know what? I think that that's true. And if the soap was smaller, you know how when you use soap and it gets kind of thin after using it a lot, it gets really light, doesn't it? So I think you're right. The sponge, depending on the size of the soap, yep, the size of the soap could also, yeah. All right, that is very good. Good job. All right, let's see what else it says here. Your hands stop the sponge and the soap from falling to the ground. But you can still feel gravity's pull on the soap and sponge when you hold them in your hands. And this pull is called weight. So it's weight that you're feeling in your hand from the gravity pulling. It's coming down, but it's pulling the objects. You can see if one object is heavier than another without letting either of them fall. Here's how. Get 2 rubber bands the same size. Tie one of your shoes to one rubber band. Tie one of your parents' shoes to the other rubber band. Lift both shoes by the rubber bands. Which rubber band stretches more? The heavier shoe stretches the rubber band more. Each rubber band acts like a scale to measure the weight. So you could do that with not just shoes, but other different types of objects, just looking and putting them attached to a rubber band. That's pretty cool too. Your weight is a measure of how hard you fall when you fall down. So, how much do you weigh? How much does your mother or father weigh? You don't have to share that. The more you weigh, the harder you fall. So if we had a little, let's say we had a little tiny baby that's toddling around, and that little baby is toddling around and it's with its brother who is like in 3rd grade, and they both fall, who's going to hit harder? Do you think the baby or the older brother, the taller one? Riley?
I think the taller one.
Right, because they weigh more, right? Yeah, the more weight, the harder the fall. The lighter the weight,
Uh,
yeah.
I think it's baby, like my baby.
I think baby.
Wait a minute. But you don't have to fall in order to weigh yourself. What do we use if we want to weigh ourselves? When you go to the doctor, what does the doctor have you stand on? Annalisa?
Scale.
Yep, a scale tells you how hard you fall without you falling at all. So simply get on a scale. Yay! That would be the best thing to do. Don't make yourself fall.
Then I can sit without my booster seat all.
And that is the end of I Fall Down. All right, I'm going to switch this around, friends. Here we go. So what did you think? Really? Riley, Kaden, anybody? Emmy?
Good question. I don't know. Ask her to repeat it. What was the question?
I just wanted to know if anybody had anything that they wanted to share out about the story. Any thoughts about the story?
Okay.
Riley, your hand's up. Any thoughts about what you just learned?
I wasn't totally thoughts about what I just learned, but when you said the toddler and the 3rd grade brother, it reminded me of my little sister and me.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right, awesome. Okay. All right, boys and girls, listen, I am going to get ready to end this meeting. I hope that I have given you as much information as I can. Like I said, use this day to finish up. If there's any parents, if there's any problems with any of the stuff that I put out there, please send me an email or a message, and I will do what I can to fix it. So I just, I miss seeing all of you. I really, really do. This has been definitely a challenge.
I wish I was back in school.
I know. I know. I wish I was back in school too. It's not the same. This is not the same as seeing your beautiful faces and your smiles. I miss you all so much. So I just hope that we are back in the classroom, and if we get back in the classroom, we can have some kind of a maybe meet together and get a chance to say hi again and to hug each other. So just
Maybe not hug, but air
maybe
hug.
not hug, but just to see each other. But just make sure that you're staying healthy. Wash your hands. Make sure your hands are clean. Anyway,
Hands are clean when I
let's
wear.
see. I'm gonna let, I see Chloe, Chloe, go ahead. Everybody mute themselves so that Chloe can talk. There's a lot of noise going on. Mute your microphones. Chloe, go ahead.
I did this snap on like a very funny voice where I said this quarantine thing is like very serious and I miss my friends and my school.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen some of the little comments, and I know you do miss your friends. I know it's very hard. Everybody's going through the same struggles. We all want to be with our friends. We want to eat lunch with our friends. We want to hug our friends. We want to be able to talk to our friends in person. It's very, very difficult. I'm glad
Because I miss the food. Yummy
Yeah,
food.
I'm sure you do. I'm sure you do. All right, go ahead, Megan. Unmute yourself. There you go. Megan, can you turn up your sound, sweetie? I see that you're talking. I just can't hear your voice. Your microphone's off, so that's good. But I still can't hear any sound coming from you. My landline, we still have a landline, so I need to get rid of that thing. It's annoying. It always seems to ring when I'm in the middle of something. Okay, let's see. Who else? Megan, I know that I'm still trying to hear what you have to say, sweetie. I don't want you to think I'm ignoring you. I'm not. I just can't hear your sound, your voice at the moment. Riley, go ahead and unmute yourself, and then Emmy.
Instead of a hug, we could do an elbow bump when we get back to school.
Yes.
It's very glitchy.
Is that a butterfly you have there? Did you just have a little butterfly?
Yeah.
It's pretty. All right, Emmy.
Thank you.
I finished my second Descendants book that it had much more chapters than the other one.
Did it?
Who's big?
Well, that's good. I'd love to. Yeah, you know what, Emmy? If you get all caught up and you want to just send me a little, message about what you liked about the story, or just tell me anything about the story, that would be great. I always love to hear about books you're reading. So boys and girls, when you finish a book and you want to just send me the title, just say, I finished this book, Mrs. Kramer, it had this many pages, or just, I would love to see it. Okay. All right, my friends. Well, listen.
It's glitchy.
Yeah, I know. Listen, we're going to go. I have to end the meeting now, so I am going to check in with you. Let's plan on checking in. I think we're going to do a meeting on Monday. How about we'll start with Monday instead of Tuesday? And parents, I am going to try to get as much information about what next week will look like in terms of picking up. Make sure you're checking your email with Mrs. Randall. I know she has newsletters, but make sure to keep checking. But I will give any information I can find out about next week and with pickup, and I will get that to you as soon as possible, okay? All right, my friends, I am going to end the meeting.
Bye.
I love all of you, and I will talk to you soon, okay?
Okay.
All right. Bye, friends.
Bye.
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 Bye.